Some more evidence of food the Bigfoot could eat. Sap. Lots of animals eat it. High in sugar. Would be an especially valuable food source in wintertime, you know, especially in more northern latitudes where snow not only covers but completely blankets the terrain. That is one thing that a lot of Sasquatch skeptics hold against the Bigfoot theory, is in the modern time there are no cold weather great apes. Other than humans, primates are found almost exclusively in subtropical environments, in rainforests, savannas. Nowhere is there a great ape that lives in snow. But there are primates that live in snow. There are the so-called snow monkeys, Japanese macaques. They spend their winters in forests that are covered with snow, and they get along just fine. There are also golden monkeys that live in northern China. They do the exact same thing. They spend their winters in snowy forests. So I don't think it's that impossible to think that with the millions of years of an evolutionary head start, that Sasquatch could survive winters in North America. After all, Gigantopithecus, the prehistoric great ape, where it has been found, even, millions of years ago, there's evidence of snowfall and change in climate. And it's even theorized that Gigantopithecus went extinct not because things got colder, but because things got hotter. And the bamboo forest that it lived in changed to open savanna for a little bit, and thus it couldn't adapt quickly enough to survive in mainland Asia. Now, I say mainland Asia because the strongest theory as to why we have reports of Sasquatch is that there were groups of Gigantopithecus that around the same time as early humans crossed the Bering Land Bridge from Russia into the United States. It's theorized that Gigantopithecus might have done the same, because not only did humans cross over, but such iconic animals as the saber-toothed tiger and, to a certain extent, the woolly mammoth came over the Bering Land Bridge as well. And it works both ways. The red wolves, for example, were native to North America. They crossed the land bridge into Europe and Asia, and members that were isolated there became gray wolves, and gray wolves actually came back into North America, so they made the journey twice. So it's very feasible that, population of Gigantopithecus could have crossed the Bering Land Bridge and set up stakes here in North America. So we just hit a little side trail that is not on our map. Wise? Unwise? I don't know. Maybe we can ask the kids from the Blair Witch Project how that worked out for them. I mean,
really tell how infrequently this trail is maintained by the obvious graffiti on the
oh yeah. Oh yeah. So that is what we came here to see. We're at the end of the trail. It was nice enough that they left that marker here. Otherwise, our genius selves would have probably kept going. Doesn't look like it's too fun to navigate. But hey, volcanic rock formation, nature.
Too soft and fleshy for that.
It's not too often that I'm confused by nature, but I'm stumped. I apologize. One thing you're going to learn about me, I make puns constantly. Ask Dom.
Yeah, you're pretty punny.
In fact, you know who my favorite superhero is? The pun is sure. Stay hydrated, folks. That's not a creek. I mean, not anymore.
It's a crevasse.
Crevasse! Okay, now. The other end of the trail is way down there and then way up there. I'm just kidding. We just go around there. We go around. We're not going to do that. We're not, well, we're not that stupid.
It's funny, I'm being swarmed by insects, but I'm not getting bitten because I decided to layer up today.
I know. You have your handy dandy, what's that thing called?
Balaclava?
Baklava.
Baklava.
Baklava. No, not a baklava.
I cannot wear food. Well, I mean.
Well, not today, you can't. Maybe later.
Later. Well, this trail's kind of cool right here.
I know.
One more shot of that. That's cool.
That's it's an amazing trail. Really, if you want to just come out and have a decent hike, you don't have to be mighty Squatch hunters like we are. But if you ever want to come up, Big Trees State Park, there are very many good trails here. Beautiful wilderness to see. And right near Arnold, California.
It's not a difficult drive to get here either.
No, it's really not. There's like, if you're coming from the valley, it's like 3 turns.
Yeah. And a lot of tailgaters.
Lots of tailgaters. By the way, if you're watching this, don't tailgate people. Drive safely on the roads.
It can only end in misery for all parties involved.
Yes. Death or dismemberment.
In abundance.
In abundance!
I was just saying, if we were trying to make this thing like serious, you don't have to worry about me ever trying to like usurp your, creative licenses. I don't roll that way.
Did you say usurp?
Usurper.
You filthy usurper! In all honesty, I think this is going to be a fun little segment.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot just in, in North America. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to go all over North America doing this. Not yet, maybe. If we get enough people interested in this. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can do a number of looking for Bigfoot ones, can't we?
Oh yeah.
But then
That's where you said the Peterson film?
Patterson film.
Patterson film.
Yeah, that was yeah, it was like a little bit east of Mount Shasta.
Yeah.
Klamath River. But what I'm getting at, there are tons, and we may not always go out somewhere like this, but we can talk.
Yeah.
I mean, we're civilized. Well,
You're civilized people.
I am civilized people. Me is people.
This guy.
That guy, on the other hand. But I can think of at least half a dozen other cryptids. Or I keep using that term. I'm going to explain it real quick. The study of animals that are considered to exist but not proven by science is called cryptozoology. So I guess in the nomenclature of all this, another big word. Sorry, I'll stop that now. In the naming of all this stuff, cryptids are creatures that are commonly studied by, I guess, more looked for than studied, because you can't really study something if you don't know it's there. But cryptids are animals that are, unproven by science. So Sasquatch, the Yeti, Chupacabra, Wendigo, Loch Ness Monster, things like that. But the term cryptid can even talk about animals that were once real and are thought to have gone extinct, but sightings continue to come in, such as the thylacine, or the Tasmanian tiger. Last one died in a zoo in Australia. Just heard something knock over there. I think it was just a falling branch. Hopefully not a... I'm just kidding. That bear was last time Dom and I were here. That's our friend Honeygram. Honeygram? No.
Teddygram.
Teddygram. I'm sorry. If you're watching this, Teddygrams, please forgive me.
Please don't find our home and eat us.
Oh, he's probably there waiting with a baseball bat. I mean, like a bear would need a baseball bat. Anyway, last thylacine died in a zoo in Australia in the 1930s. But since then, people in Tasmania and mainland Australia continue to see thylacine looking animals. Mainstream science says it's misidentification. They're seeing foxes or stray dogs. But who knows? It still could be out there. Australia is a massively uninhabited continent.
Yep.
So, I mean, shoot, I think they even have a version of Bigfoot. I can't remember what they call it, but...
Hairy mate.
They call it Foster's. Australian for Bigfoot. Yeah, speaking of that, another thing that really compels me to believe that there could be something out there is just all the places that a large ape-like animal is seen. We have Sasquatch in the American Northwest. Down in the American South, they have a similar creature, a little bit smaller, that they call the swamp ape, that inhabits swamplands and marshy areas in places like Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi. There's also the Yeti of Central Asia. There's a version of it in Russia, and I can't remember what they call that one. It's like the... I don't know. I'll look it up later. I'll probably put an annotation here somewhere saying the name of it, because right now I can't. Siberian foot? Is that Siberian foot?
Comrade Bigfoot?
Comrade Bigfoot. No, they just call him Vlad. Quite. Indeed. Most indeedly.
Indeedly do.
Indeedly do.
Oh, skiddly diddly.
How diddly ho, Squatcherino. Note to all you amateur Squatch hunters out there. He hates Ned Flanders. So if you ever want to make Sasquatch angry, do your best Ned Flanders impersonation.
We like... here.
Just a note, we're not lost. I mean, I hope we're not lost.
One trail. One trail.
Yeah, this is literally like... This very well-defined trail is what we've been on the entire time. Although, I think it's now Tuesday. We left out on a Sunday.
Where are we? Don't you mean when?
How long have we been out here? No, in all seriousness, folks, we're not lost.
But,
We're non-professionals.
But finding a point of reference there, you can kind of hear the Stanislaus River down there, and you can kind of see just by gauging off the map where we are and a couple landmarks around here. I mean, yeah, it's kind of obviously here now.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you a perspective of where you're on the trail. But
Yeah, it really helps. And it creates the river cutting through down there, making a gorge. Nature created this amazing view for us. Thank you, nature.
glorious
Thank
ambiance.
you. Glorious. And remember, kids, moss always grows on the north side of trees. It really doesn't. Survival tip for those of you who care to know. If you see stagnum moss like this, lying on the ground really, really thick, you can squeeze it and you can get ultra pure drinking water, because the moss holds on to moisture almost better than a sponge does. And it is awesome at filtering out anything in the water that you don't want to drink. So if you ever find yourself lost and you see a big pile of stagnum moss, start squeezing.
You know, I realize I'm recording this long old video on my GoPro.
Yeah?
Kind of wondering why.
Why?
Oh, the meaning of life.
For the content!
The existential dread setting in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dom has gone off his rocker. We have been in the wilderness way too long. Another fun fact about this forest, not Big Tree State Park per se, but the Stanislaus National Forest is where they did all the principal shooting for the Endor segments of Return of the Jedi. Did you know that?
Nope.
Well, now you do.
Yay!
So not only are there Sasquatches out here, but presumably Ewoks. So, I just talked about Ewoks. I think that is the same boulder they used in Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, when Indy's running down the tunnel and it's not, I can't back up that claim. So Abby was here, apparently, and W.H., William Harold, Wallace,
Hamilton?
Henderson?
Smitty Bourbon Jägerman Jameson?
He was number 1.
Working as intended. Pretty sharp right here.
Yeah, big hunk of granite. You know, I mean, I guess most people take these rocks for granite, right? What are you looking for? Why'd you do that? We thought we heard a rattlesnake. We might have died.
Who'd call Sasquatch?
So one way, we're gonna get back on the topic of Sasquatch, since that's why we're out here. Supposedly, one of the methods for long-range communication is what's known as tree knocking. Now, a lot of Sasquatch hunters will come up to a big tree like this, maybe one a little smaller resonates better, and they will smack it 2 or 3 times and they'll wait. And some people get pretty darn good results with it. And I just almost put my hand on that. That's amazing. Anyway.
That's cool. Take a picture of that.
The sound carries for a pretty good distance in the forest. And when you tree knock, you know, the one thing I was going to do that now, but honestly, I don't think we're going to get a response. And if we did, you know, whenever I watch the specials about Sasquatch hunting and there's tree knocking and they always get a response, it just makes me a little skeptical that there's, you know, what if there's another group of Sasquatch hunters on the other side of the valley who are like, oh my God, did you hear that? We're going to have to knock back. Another thing that Sasquatch hunters will do is they will actually make these pretty loud howling noises. And sometimes that will elicit a response. People have even taken a more scientific approach to it, and they will set up speakers and they will broadcast the sounds of gorillas and orangutans into the forest. And sometimes that will even elicit a response. Of what? Nobody's quite sure. Again, no viable proof. But it would make sense, you know, it's, if we think about, you know, animals communicating in different ways, an orangutan or a gorilla would presumably be a different dialect of ape speak from what Sasquatch might know, although similar. So Sasquatch would want to roar back, you know, either saying, hey, I'm here, or this is my territory, you need to back up, what have you. So we came up, there's a little vista here, and I'll show you in a second, but if you're going to be out in the wilderness, be it camping, hiking, hunting, fishing, don't be like whoever threw this Heineken bottle down here. I hate to sound hippie-ish, but we only have one planet. Because right now, Mars isn't a feasible option.
Yet.
I mean, well, yet. I've talked to Matt Damon about that, but, you know, just don't. So I think I found Big Tree's version of Pride Rock.
Yeah.
I can just imagine Squatch standing here majestically, overlooking the valley, giving out his majestic call. What do you think that would sound like, Dom? Majestic creatures. Okay, I don't know if there's a technical term for what this is, but it looks like there may have been a branch, and this is an oak tree, so they're susceptible to fungal infections. If you've ever seen those big balls on the quiet you, those large balls and knots on the end of oak branches, those are caused by either fungal infection or wood-boring insects. I don't know if this is what happened here, but it looks like something could live in there. I mean, a fairy, a bird maybe. Definitely not Sasquatch. I mean, maybe a mermaid. Yes, according to Dom, this is a mermaid house. I'm glad I brought him.
I like how when I burst the door, everyone's like, oh. That's big.
Yeah, oh, what could that possibly be? They have a cave troll. Thank you, Boromir. Thank you. I mean, it was a nice heads up. We can't really prepare for that, but, you know, good talk.
Good talk.
I mean, hey, Boromir, do you like archery? Poor Boromir. I mean, all he wanted was to protect Gondor and, you know, save his father from insanity and
Look at that.
stop him and, you know, probably beating up his little brother.
Sending him on random suicide missions.
Yeah. But hey, it all worked out in the end. He moved on from being Boromir to Eddard Stark, and whoa. We all know how that ended. Wasn't it how that ended? But all I can say about being Lord of Winterfell is, you know, it's no way to get ahead in life. See clearings like this. Sasquatch is believed to make nests similar to how chimpanzees and orangutans and gorillas will do. Theirs are a little more complex though. A lot of times people will come to clearings like this and they'll see, for lack of a better term, they'll be branch igloos pretty much. They'll make rudimentary little shelters for themselves. And it's not too different from what, I mean it is, but it isn't, from what orangutans do. Orangutans, more so than chimps and chimps and gorillas, will make coverings for their heads, and they'll just use leaves because, you know, they do live in a rainforest environment. So if they fall asleep, they don't want to get drenched. Who does? I mean, I don't want to get drenched when I'm awake. But if it is true that Sasquatch is an unknown primate, unknown great ape, very feasible and very probable that they would make some sort of shelter to keep themselves, you know, relatively concealed and safe at night. Although I can't think of anything other than probably someone with a gun that would pose too much of a threat to a Sasquatch. Although I will admit, I would pay good money to see a Sasquatch take on a grizzly bear.
Hell yeah.
I mean, shoot, could you imagine the
carnage?
Put that on pay-per-view.
Right?
I'm just, whoa! See, I'm glad I didn't agitate that dude. That is a wasp. Can't think of,
Is that a cazador?
I have no idea. It's a nope. I'm gonna call that the Great Forest Nope. So, little freaky, right as Dom's GoPro was going dead. He didn't hear it, and I don't know if it's just my mind playing tricks on me, but up the hill, I swear, I heard a very primate-like call, and it reminded me of a gibbon or a Simang. So maybe juvenile Bigfoot? I don't know. I probably heard nothing. Like I said, when we came out here with the intention of doing a Sasquatch film,
Halfway back through the trail.
my mind has been playing tricks on me. I've seen things like rocks and stumps that are covered, and even like, you can see that my zoom is incredibly slow, bear with me. So you see that black mass up there, even things like that look an awful lot like Sasquatch to the mind that wants to believe it. So did I hear anything? I don't know, but it was exciting nonetheless. Well, as anticipated, we found no hard evidence of Sasquatch on this little journey, but we had a heck of a lot of fun, and that's what matters. Right, Dom?
Righto.
I want to thank you all for joining us on the first of the Wild Excursions Cryptid Chronicles. Stay tuned. We're gonna, as time goes on, we might do more of these. I shouldn't say might, we're gonna do more of these. If you have any suggestions for cryptids that we should research, do a little talking about, drop it down in the comments. What do you, again, what do you think? Do you believe in the possibility of an unknown primate species in North America? Are you skeptical? Leave the comment down below. Whatever your opinion is, I'm not gonna bash it. If you're skeptical, tell me. If you believe, tell me.
If you know of any evidence that could point to anything, by all means, drop a link or something.
Please do.
As us slowly die walking up this trail behind.
I know if we don't make it out, tell our families we love them. This has been Zach and Dom for the First Feathers and Fangs channel. As always, have a wild day.